The Yankees are coming off of one of their most thrilling series of the year, a 3-game sweep over the Boston Red Sox. Tonight, they will try to make it 7 consecutive victories when they travel to Toronto for a 3-game set that could determine their playoff future. On the mound, they welcome back Jameson Taillon, who takes the bump with an 8-6 record and a 4.41 ERA in just over 138 innings pitched. How did it all work out? My recap, your reactions, next. This is Yankees Game Night. I would just like to go on record once and for all and say that Giancarlo Stanton is my new personal hero. Unbelievable what this guy is doing. Unbelievable. Before we get started, I wanted to thank you all for 17,000 subscribers on this channel. Just hit that milestone today. We do a watch party every time we get to a new 1,000, so tune in Saturday afternoon against the Rays. Apparently, the Yankees have a new team mascot. We're seeing turtles in the chat. So by now you must have heard the story of Bronxy. He's been with the team for the entire win streak. And because the Yankees had to go to Toronto, he didn't get through customs, which makes me wonder where Bronxy is at the moment, because they were coming from Boston. Did an intern or a bat boy have to drive the turtle back to New York City? That would be a great sitcom episode. I could totally see an episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza has to drive Bronxy, the winning streak turtle, back to Yankee Stadium, and he loses him or something. Hashtag turtle power in the chat. I'm seeing all sorts of turtles. We are spamming with turtles. I absolutely love it. Turtle power. All right, so let's get to the recap, and then we will have the somewhat anticlimactic belt vote because we have Giancarlo Stanton dominating the voting at this point. Yankees get right to work off of Ryu in the first inning. 1-out single by Rizzo, double by Aaron Judge, put men on first and second, but he strikes out Stanton, and then Gallo pops up, and the Yankees did not score. So it looked like a wasted opportunity. The Yankees never held the lead against Toronto the last time they played at Yankee Stadium, and so you're starting to get bad feelings about this. You know, Taillon comes out. He issued a walk right away, 5 straight out of the zone, gave up a stolen base, and then a single to Bo Bichette, and the Blue Jays were up 1-0, and I was just not feeling good about it at that point. Top 3, Aaron Judge takes one out to right field for his 37th home run of the year to tie it at 1. He didn't get all of it, didn't need to. Breaking news, Aaron Judge is very, very strong and very, very large. Bottom 3, a blow to the Yankees. Taillon re-injured his ankle. He had to leave the game. They were saying that he might need surgery, when this injury came about. So undoubtedly, if he has to have it, his season is over. Mike King came in, though, and did a nice job. 2 2/3 inning, pitched pretty well. Blue Jays did get to Mike King for 1 run in the 4th, an RBI double. That made it 2-1. But other than that, he was solid. He was around the strike zone. He was getting good sink. He had good velocity, showed off a really good breaking ball. The Kluber breaking ball, if you will. Yankees strike back immediately after the Blue Jays go up 2-1. Rizzo picks up an opposite field RBI single to tie it up, and then Judge with another good at-bat. Sac fly to right field, his 2nd RBI of the night. He's got 94 RBIs on the season. So Judge really turning in a nice year. Clay Holmes was all over the place tonight. 2 walks, a couple of wild pitches. Gary Sanchez threw out Bo Bichette on a wild pitch. Jays don't score. And then top of the 7th. Biggest moment of the game. My personal hero. This guy's unbelievable. I'm running out of euphemisms. I'm running out of adjectives. And I have an English degree. I cannot describe Giancarlo Stanton anymore. The guy's amazing. The streaks he gets on, the degree in which he can stay red hot for extended periods is like nothing I've ever seen. Homers for the 4th consecutive game, 35th on the year, 3 runs shot, 96 ribbies on the year, puts the Yankees up 6-2. In July, he hit like 2 home runs. And practically 80% of the fan base wanted to trade him. They're saying, how can we get this guy to accept the trade? Juan says, shout out to Bronxy the Turtle. We love you. But, you know, look, Giancarlo has silenced the haters. He has shut all of our mouths. I am not going to pretend like I was on board the Giancarlo hype train the whole way. Some people say, oh yeah, I never want to get rid of him. Giancarlo sucked at times this year, and his swing was as ugly as I've ever seen. But he has put it together at the right time, and he is dominating right now. Dominating the league. Luis Severino came in for the bottom of the 8th. He works a 1-2-3 inning. He looked good again. A little bit of a scare. He had kind of an ankle issue because the mound was kind of falling apart on him, but they put down some new dirt, tamped it in. Everything came out fine, I guess. Top of the 9th, Urshela gets hit by a pitch. It gets called a foul ball, and he ends up hitting a home run anyway. Another great trade for the Yankees. Hang on, where's my rim shot on that one? Peralta shuts the door in the 9th without any trouble, and the Yankees have won 7 consecutive games.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
So, guys, we've got a ton of super chats that came through while I was doing my recap. Just a reminder to hold your super chats while I'm doing the recap, or I may miss them. We got one from Shane Johnson here that says, Stantonian blast, Giancarlo, non si può stopparlo.
That ball is high, it is far, it is gone.
And we already took care of one, but we're going to go ahead and give him the dono sound. Shout out to Bronxy, wherever you are. Hopefully he's not in an airport soup at this point after being rejected by customs. Yankee says, I want to give Stanton the biggest hug of all time. Well, be careful, because when you celebrate with Giancarlo Stanton, he might hurt you. In case you didn't hear this story, the other night, Gleyber Torres was on deck after Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run. And these guys, they always high-five and fist bumps or whatever, but Giancarlo smacked Gleyber Torres in the back of the helmet. And like a few minutes later, Gleyber was still dizzy. And that's why he had to get looked at by the third base coach. Unreal, this guy's strength. He was just celebrating, and he made the on-deck hitter have to go through concussion protocols. Are you kidding me? Wow. Silo Ren says, did you see how low that ball was when Stanton hit it? It was like bowling for dollars. I don't understand the bowling for dollars reference, but yeah, he golfed it. It was a golf swing. If you look at it, it looked like it was a breaking ball, possibly a changeup. And he could see it coming, and he was able to adjust his hands. And that was something that Albert Pujols was really good at. You know, if you threw him anything that moved down and in, he would easily drop those hands and barrel it up with kind of like a golf swing, and he would hit these long, majestic home runs like Giancarlo Stanton hit tonight into the second deck. And Michael K., I don't know if they're in the building. I don't think they are. Michael K. was saying, if it's fair, it's gone. It was fair by 100 feet. They've got to get these guys back in the ballpark. You've got to bring them back in the state. I mean, come on. That was one of the biggest home runs of the year, and we got that call. Come on. Let's see. THG says, Gleyber is softer than Gary somehow. Stanton didn't hit him that hard from what it looked like on TV. Yeah, those are the key words. What it looked like on TV. Oh, by the way, we got to give out the belt winner. I almost forgot.
Belt winner.
It's becoming a nightly tradition now. I don't know who holds the record. Next year, I'm going to do a spreadsheet, and we're going to keep track of whoever has the most belt wins. So, look, I just want to say that I apologize for anything I've ever said to disrespect Giancarlo Stanton. Look, there's been times this season where his swing has looked like an unfolded lawn chair. But when he's red hot, you just cannot get him out. I mean, look how low that pitch was. And the catcher's reactions when he hits home runs are unbelievable. The catcher knows instantaneously that ball is gone, drops his head. You see Gio hit one and the catcher kind of stands up. Oh, did he get enough of that? The sound when Giancarlo hits it must be so loud. So loud. There's a home run that Aaron Judge hit a couple of years ago. It went 495 feet. He hit it over the left field bleachers. I believe it was against the Orioles. If you go back and watch that video, the catcher, reacts almost painfully to the sound of the contact from Aaron Judge. I never really thought about what it sounds like to a catcher until one time I was pitching and I gave up a home run. I swear to God, should have had a stewardess on it. Flight attendant. Excuse me, ladies. It was annihilated. Annihilated. And the guy who hit it was a guy who I hated because I had been teammates with him and he was a prick. He was the prick of all pricks. And I wanted to strike him out. I tried to blow a fastball by him. I threw him my best fastball and he annihilated it. And I still remember it to this day. I was 15 years old. And my catcher said afterwards that his ears were ringing for innings because of how loud the ball was when it hit the bat. So when these guys make contact, these big guys, it must be just rattling to the catcher who's right there. It's got to sound almost like a gunshot. EJ Sehota says, day 8 of saying, love your vids, Derek. I appreciate that. EJ, you are the man. Let's see here. Saxer Plays says, when is the estimation on Tyone? So, unfortunately, we don't have anything on Tyone yet, but I'd imagine that he's done for the year. And the reason I say that is because before he went on the injured list with this ankle injury, there was talk that he could need surgery. And instead, they tried to get him back quickly. And if he re-injured himself in his first outing back, then he's going to need basically the entire duration of that rest again. And then you got to hope he doesn't re-injure it. So my guess is they give Tyone the surgery and he's probably done for the year. I know it's unfortunate, but that settles the whole debate over whether or not Corey Kluber is going to start if you get deep into the playoffs. Corey Kluber now has to step up. He's going to make a start in this series. John Daniel Munoz says, do we know when Johnny Lasagna is coming back? I don't have an exact date, but I heard it might be this series against the Blue Jays. So let's cross our fingers on that one. Gigi says, I went to my first game at Yankee Stadium in late July against Boston. I watched Stanton strike out multiple times. He looks like a different player. So first of all, Dono hype. And yeah, Giancarlo looks
excellent.
The thing about Giancarlo is that once you moved him into the outfield, I want to say it was around July 25th, 26th, something like that. It's completely changed him as a player. Some people just can't DH. Being a DH is essentially being a pinch hitter 4 or 5 times in a game, and more often than not, 3 or 4 times because he would get pinch run for a lot. So he probably averaged 3.5 at-bats to 4 at-bats a game when he was in there as a pinch hitter or as a designated hitter. Now, I mean, if you think about the total game time that few at-bats takes up, it's like 8 minutes or whatever. Well, now he's involved for 3 hours because he's playing the outfield. He's jogging out to his position. It's keeping him loose. In between innings, if you've ever been to a game, you know that the outfielders warm up with the ball boys. I don't think they have ball boys this year or ball girls, but surely the outfielders are warming up with each other. Typically, the center fielder will throw with each. Sometimes you have a guy from the bench come out and warm up the outfielders. I haven't been to a game this year, so I'm not sure how they're doing that in the age of COVID. But just getting out there and throwing between innings keeps you loose, jogging to your position. And it gives you something else to think about. Let's say that Giancarlo, and to be fair, he was a DH tonight, but let's say that he has a bad at bat, and you're a DH. You sit and you stew about it for a couple of innings, whereas if you're playing the field, you can run out to the field and, get some, get something else on your mind. So let's see here. Sprinting Water says that Loizaga is probably back tomorrow. Same thing from Mike Bragg, so we will see. The GOAT says those inside pitches for strikes tonight were very questionable. Yeah, we saw a lot of bad calls from the umpire. Let's see. John Strausser says, did you see that stat about OPS plus? Judge and Stanton have the best combined duo since Mantle and Maris. I didn't see the stat, but that doesn't surprise me. Just in terms of OPS, Judge is over 900. I think he's at 914. And I want to say that I looked it up mid-game for Giancarlo, and he's about like 850 to 870. It might be 876, something like that. And I was actually surprised that Judge has that much of a gap between himself and Giancarlo, but he is hitting for a higher average. He's hitting 287. Giancarlo somewhere in the 270s. We got other people saying the Turtle deserves the belt. David DeConic says, when Winfield hit the Seagull in Toronto, that should be a 30 for 30. So, first of all, awesome reference. ESPN makes amazing 30 for 30s. I love those documentaries. So, apparently, Dave Winfield threw a ball at a pigeon on the field, hit the pigeon, killed the pigeon, and actually got in trouble with for animal cruelty. Has anybody ever seen the video of Randy Johnson? It was a spring training game and he was pitching, and by some miracle, I mean, not for the bird, but some miracle, 1 in a billion chance, a bird flew in the path of his fastball. The ball hit the bird and the bird exploded. Just feathers everywhere. It dropped, and now Randy Johnson has a photo company, I think a camera company, and part of his logo is a dead bird. It's the weirdest thing, but it's funny. I appreciate the dark, dry humor. Ryan Liao says that Stanton is at 886. Thank you for the stat. Let's see here. So yeah, John Daniel says after tonight, Giancarlo's at 886, Judge 914. Okay, so I mean, it's not a huge difference. That's 0.28 if my math is correct, which it probably isn't. I'm not good at math. Let's see here. Yankee says, I see that Randy clip every day. How do you see it every day? I'm curious. That's interesting. I wish this was a faster two-way conversation so that I could relay it to my audience. But if you post it in the chat, I'll put it up. Let's see here. Jason Robbins says, I'm ready for K-Zone to make the strike and ball calls. You can leave the umpire back there for optics and make out calls at the plate. 100% agree. 100%.
Yes, I agree.
In fact, you're getting it twice.
I wholeheartedly agree.
If you have the technology, use the technology. Where else in life do we forego technology in favor of human error? Imagine if they did that with, pilots or whatever, It used to be just like the pilot would check the engine. Yeah, everything looks good. Yeah. Now they got sensors and gizmos to tell you, oh, the aileron is damaged. I used to eyeball it. I remember one time I was getting on a plane, and there was a mechanic literally working on the plane outside of my window, working on the wing before we took off. He had toolbox or whatever, and this guy did not look like somebody who has said no to drugs. And I remember thinking, well, I should text my wife goodbye. By the way, happy birthday or happy anniversary to my wife. 8 years today. Andreas Tandelian says, hope Gallo gets hot at the right time. So that's one great thing about having some big boppers in your lineup. Stanton is red hot right now, but he won't be hot forever. We know that. He's going to cool off at some point. I hope it's February. Cool off in February. Go 1 for 35 in February or March, whenever. But at some point he will cool off. And at that point, hopefully, you've got enough guys that somebody else should be ready to step up. Joey Gallo was red hot for a bit. He's gone a little bit cold since the neck injury. He had a stiff neck or whatever. Judge still playing pretty well, but we've seen him a lot hotter before. So, hey, it is what it is. Somebody says this dude. I'm doing my thing. If you think you can do it better, make a YouTube channel. Aiden Clark says, forget re-signing Rizzo or Voit. Freddie Freeman. I have a hard time believing that Freddie Freeman will ever leave the Atlanta Braves. Jose Jimenez says, Garrett Cole needs to be Garrett Cole tomorrow. Big night. Look, the Yankees did some damage tonight. They put another game between themselves and Boston and themselves and the Blue Jays. But as Derek Jeter used to always say, doesn't mean a thing unless you win tomorrow. One more time from Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
AB says, can we have a co-belt? Stanton and Bronxy. I don't have a turtle graphic, but you better bet your ass I'm going to have one tomorrow. I will see everybody tomorrow. Yankees win this one, 7 straight. I'll see you next time. Special shout out to the Patreon supporters and anyone else who has supported this channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe for more Yankees content year round. If you really enjoyed it, check out the Frieze. It's the official podcast of this channel. Or pick up some swag from the Teespring store, link in the description. Thanks for watching.